12 smartest smugglers in all history. So in today's video we're gonna enlist the top 12 smartest smugglers in all history. Let us show you how skillfully these strange and smartest smugglers were trying to get their job done. But unfortunately they were caught red-handed there and then. So don't miss out any second and watch the video till the end. Trust me, number 1 is hilarious of all. With that being said, let's get straight into it. Number 12. Drugs inside the tires. No doubt, smugglers have the highest IQ and are cleverest of all, as they have to move stuff illegally from one country to another without being caught by police. See these packets of tons of drugs inside the tires? Not only this smuggler managed to hide drugs inside the battery, other tires and bumpers. We have heard that smugglers are quite ingenious, but this one was on another level. I mean, seriously? Inside the car battery? Just amazing. Well, this group managed to import 1,000 kilograms of drugs into the United States. Gosh, fortunately it was caught on the spot. Let's keep things moving. Number 11. 25,000 packets of cigarettes in 3 trunks. Back some years ago during the customs check, the officers found 25,000 packets of cigarettes hidden inside 27 tons of timber trunks. 55 of those 3 trunks were hollowed, and these were smuggled with other legal goods by train. The 3 trunks were first hollowed and then filled with cigarette packets with great strategy. The smugglers managed to stick the ends of woods with trunk chunks and didn't leave any clue of the crime. We are amazed how these officers uncovered these holes. Well, after too much intellect, the cigarettes still didn't make it to pass the border. Number 10. Gold in sleeves. See, here's another clever smuggler. Not actually. Meaning that he has simply hidden too many gold bricks in shirts or sleeves. Still, customs officers were amazed by this new trick, when this man was trying to smuggle too many gold pellets across the border by stitching the gold inside his shirt. This person, along with his fellow, was captured at Hazrat Shah Jalal International Airport. It's one of the biggest airports in Bangladesh. The other fellow had hidden gold inside his shoes and shirt. Customs officers seized almost 2.5 kilograms of pure gold, and it was of great worth. Number 9. A model family. Well, after watching this family with 3 little kids, no one can imagine these could be smugglers. But they are criminals. This family was dressed up nicely and had a decent car, so they were not looking suspicious. But it's never easy to fool the customs officers. They noticed some unusual scratches in the car, and just to make it clear, they proceeded to do some further examination. It is typically thought that these officers are excessively eager, but this time they were right. They literally braked the car, and look what they found. This apparently ordinary family was smuggling packets of cash. Officers found around 26 packets of cash, which were about to be smuggled. Number 8. Gold inside the soap bars. At a Mangalorean International Airport, a man seems to smuggle gold that he has managed to hide in chocolate syrup and soap bars. Those gold granules were of great worth, and wrapped in an absurd way within black packets inside soaps. He arrived at the Air India Express flight straight from Dubai. Customs officers grabbed more than 50,000 worth of gold, and the man was arrested after it. The smuggler had hollowed the soap carefully and then wrapped gold granules and hid them inside the soap bars. Number 7. Snakes taped with body. Well, you all have imagined smugglers are caught red-handed with illegal cash, gold, or even drugs. But there's a lot more than that. A few years ago, customs officers pulled aside a 22-year-old Norwegian man as a tarantula kept moving around one of the bags. This was a red flag for the officers, so just for a spot check, they took him aside, as they may have expected some more spiders inside the bag. But they can never imagine that a man can smuggle snakes attached to his body. Yes, he was carrying 14 non-venomous royal pythons enrolled in socks and then taped around his body. This wasn't all. Even some taps were found around his legs, in which albino leopards were kept carefully. Well, animal smuggling is pretty common in Norway. There are some prohibited species of animals, so people bring them illegally to other countries. But, fortunately, most of such smugglers were caught on the spot. Number 6. A prisoner in wife's suitcase. We understand that jail sentences can be tough on families, but one thing you should not ever try is to smuggle them or try to bring them out of jail illegally. Here in this picture, you're watching Maria Delmar Orhuno with her suitcase. She's a pregnant 19-year-old woman who has tried to smuggle her husband, who was serving a 20-year jail sentence for various crimes. On a conjugal visit, she carried a large suitcase with her. Earlier, she wasn't suspected because she was living with him, so she needed clothes, obviously. But when she was leaving, officers noticed some unusual shape of the suitcase. Also, it was a bit heavier on tires. Maria seemed to exert a lot of force to drag the suitcase. When officers suspected her, and before she crossed the main doors, she was stopped, and officers found her husband inside the suitcase. Obviously, he was sent back to jail, and such conjugal visits were then seized. Number 5. Drugs in a pigeon. See this picture? Although it wasn't a real pigeon, smugglers have made these very carefully so they look like an original bird. They might be thinking no one would spot that these birds can carry drugs, but when officers spotted that the bird wasn't real, they cut off its back. The bird was full of drugs, found in form of pills. Quite an ingenious trick though. Number 4. Money in peanuts and sweets. Here is an other footage from an airport in India. Customs officers spotted some unusual delicacy, so they opened a box of sweets. After tearing off the bottom of the box, they found cleanly wrapped stacks of foreign bills underneath. Even they hide the rolled banknotes in peanuts. You must be shocked, but that's literally a hard nut to crack. Not only this, they have cut the biscuits from the middle and hid cash inside them. I don't know how much it took to do all this preparation, but it went wasted. Number 3. Man inside a car seat. Borders officers have to be active and sharp at any time of the day. If they fail to do so, then people may easily smuggle people and goods in some unique ways. In March, an 18-year-old US citizen was stopped at Calexico Westport entry for inspection. They've surely found something suspicious because the dogs were interested in the rear seat. So they send the driver and the car for further inspection. And look what they found. A 48-year-old Mexican national. He was taken into custody at the Imperial County Jail, and the woman was waiting for criminal proceedings. That's a unique way, though it's kinda inhumane tactics to break the laws. Number 2. Live hummingbirds in pants. See this bird carrying live hummingbirds in his pants. That's ew. This man was acting suspiciously at Rochambeau Airport in Canyon, French Guiana. When he was taken aside, officers found dozens of live hummingbirds that were wrapped in pouches and then sewn inside the pants. He must be sentenced. Well, that's the only outcome. Number 1. Drugs inside pregnant woman's belly. Back in September 2020, a Canadian citizen was about to leave Colombia. But when the officers touched her belly, it was cold and hard enough. That's unusual for skin and warm blood, and specifically if it's a baby inside. But instead of a baby, it was 4 pounds of drugs. As you can see, the belly looked real with stretched lines and a belly button just like a real pregnant woman's belly. But it was a silicone belly that was carrying pounds of drugs inside. These smugglers are really smart and give their all to safely cross the border. These ingenious tactics make us wonder every time,